This conference will now be recorded.
Maybe. Susie. Susie, can you hear me? She's like, I'm not listening to you. I just wanted to know if Susie had heard from Alan, if he was.
I did hear. I can hear you.
Did you hear from Alan?
No,
I did not.
not since I talked to you, so I don't anticipate they'll show up.
Okay.
There was a board member, a hospital board member, and they said that they have their attorney's questions still. So. Cannot.
That was it, to see if anybody from the hospital showed for that. Because that's the first thing, is the public hearing.
Oh.
So, seeing as nobody from the medical center is here, motion to maybe table it.
You skip the public hearing?
I think you still need,
And that's okay, or do we make?
we need a motion to table it.
Why?
What was that, James?
I said, you have a resolution of intent for the annexation. Why would you table it?
Because nobody from the hospital is here.
And I heard they're not ready yet. Would you show us?
Why isn't anybody there? Did they not know about it?
Yes, they did. They got Forrest's report as well as the resolution, and then wanted their lawyer to look it over again, and that was the last that I had heard.
Oh, okay. So they have a legitimate request. They want their attorney to review it.
Yep.
All right. So then you could put that on your record and then that would make sense.
I move to table the annexation request by Madison Valley Medical Center of the property as follows. 3SS, TO5S, R01W, C.O.F, 7-181 BA, partial 3A, Madison County, Montana. Yeah, that's it.
Second.
So motion and a second to table the annexation request from Madison Valley Medical Center, as they would like more time for their lawyer to review staff report and resolution.
Discussion.
Well, yeah, discussion. Any public comment, I guess, is where you go with that first. Second call for public comment. Last call for public comment. Seeing no public comment, opening up to commission comment.
I'd like to, I guess, one of the questions I brought up at the last time when they introduced this was, what are they going to do with the old building? And Tina, I think you had some concern with, was it the Ennis Cafe that was not open for a while?
Yeah.
That being blight ordinance, correct? Is that what that's called? When you have a functioning business that's no longer functioning. So I think that needs to be in part of the discussion of how to.
So it's not a vacant building when
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think just the hospital, just like any other business, I like having timelines and deadlines. So it's like, how long do you need to determine what you're going to do with the old building? And I know there's a lot of things that they have to figure out before then, but we also do need a time frame on how they're going to proceed with this whole process. So
Yeah.
So, Corey, isn't the property currently vacant?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So what building are you referring to? You were saying something about a building?
The existing hospital building. They don't know what they're going to do with that structure yet. Possibly it was suggested by Alan. This might have been pre-meeting. I was talking to him about. He was like possibly a community center.
Possibly senior living, possibly numerous
Yeah.
things. They have different ideas.
And I'm sure that's something they're already considering, but I'm just curious more than anything.
To know that it's not going to sit vacant.
Sure.
It's not vacant now. It's currently the medical
It's
center.
functioning, yeah. Yeah.
So, and I'm just asking these questions because I'm just curious to know, but are you saying that the current Madison Valley Medical Center is going to move their entire operation to this new annexation property if annexed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like an extension.
No, it's a whole new hospital. And the old one will be not a hospital. Everything will be at the new place. Nothing will stay at the old place.
And this new building the facility is going to be bigger?
Considerably.
And potentially employee housing on 2 sides too.
And
Right.
a surgical center, I think, is the huge.
Inpatient and outpatient surgical center.
So I see Josh is on the line. I mean, Josh, do you want to add anything to the conversation here? I mean, it's not binding on anybody, but.
I can. The intent is definitely to have all the operations at the new location. As was mentioned already, the use for the current building is yet to be determined. And I think the design right now is very preliminary. They just know that they are outgrowing the space that they're currently in and need to have a plan to expand in the future to be able to continue to provide quality services to the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Did we find out any more on water rights?
It doesn't look like there's any. Doesn't look like there's any.
I'm not aware that there are any water rights on the property. There are no existing wells to my knowledge.
That's what I was getting to.
It's just kind of a boulder field out there, isn't it, Josh?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right,
You can see scraps of drywall every once in a while.
Any other comments, Commission? All right, calling the vote. You could.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, annexation is tabled. And then we'll contact
So
Alan
we go
and see
from
when.
here, like, any information you guys get, obviously you're just gonna pass along, so we know where we stand or whatever.
Yep.
Hey, I apologize for being late. The link to the meeting wasn't on the agenda, so I had to search a little bit.
That's my bad, Josh. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can you just run down any questions or anything that you have for Alan, and maybe I can address them and get in front of him a little bit?
So Nikki, Alan has asked me to set up, probably not next week, but maybe the week after, kind of like a meeting of the minds, the attorneys, probably yourself, myself and Forrest, Eric, and kind of go from there just to kind of hash out any details. And then, because they haven't, it seems like they felt it was a little premature. I think they thought that, didn't realize they had to have so much stuff into the annexation. So they don't have anything past that planned out. So he couldn't answer the questions from his board or his attorney. So anyway, that's the plan anyway, in a couple of weeks to have, for lack of better words, a meeting of the minds.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I appreciate the recap. I know there is a little bit of urgency on their side to either exercise the purchase option they have or not. So they're trying to, get this determination done. And, there's a couple kind of technical issues that we need to discuss. So I'm glad to hear that we're looking at that. And the only issue I have is that I'm out of town until about Thanksgiving, so I'll have to be virtually attending. So if we can use the same setup, that's not an issue.
Yeah, we can definitely set that up.
So, Mayor Nikki, what I would suggest, I mean, based on the conversations that I'm hearing here, is that, this sounds like the perfect case for a work session. Just set up a work session where, everybody who's interested in this project, from Josh, Alan, Karen and Paul McMullen, or Karen or Paul, or whomever is involved, Eric from Public Works, Susie, Forrest, maybe myself, and whoever else is interested in attending, and just set up a work session where we just like get together. I think in person, it's these meetings, these Zoom go-to meetings are great, but sometimes, it's more effective just to set up a work session. We all get in there and figure out, what's necessary to move the thing forward.
Okay. Well, I'll get in contact with them, and when they feel that they think they've got what they want to address, we'll set up a work session. Okay. All right. Now we're going to move on to the regular agenda. Opening the regular agenda. Well, we can do roll call, but they're all here. All council in attendance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, any public comment on non-agenda items? Second call for public comment on non-agenda items. Last call for public comment on non-agenda items. Seeing nothing from in attendance or online, moving on to scheduled matters, which is just the resolution 585-2022 resolution requesting distribution of bridge and road safety and accountability program funds.
I move to approve.
Sorry. Are you guys familiar?
These are the bar
No,
funds.
that's what I was gonna say. So can you
I guess it
explain?
makes
Do you want me to make a motion and then do?
Yeah.
That's why I went into it. I move to approve resolution 585-2022 requesting distribution of bridge and road safety and accountability program funds.
I second that.
So a motion from Christie and a second from Brandy opens discussion for resolution 585-2022. Ginger, you want to give us the rundown?
Sure. This is special gas tax money that we get every year. It was allocated to us in 2019. MMIA went in and worked really hard to get us some more road money. So this is an annual thing. They distribute to each town. It has to do with how many miles of alleys and roads you have and what they gather in gas tax. But this is our portion. But you have to then, they tell you what you get and then you have to submit for it. So this is the submit.
And we have like an audit done too of the roads, right? Great West came and audited the roads and kind of give you a list of where to go and when, like who's first in priority. So there's numerous steps to this.
Right. So this money can be put out to any road project that's going on. So yeah, so we're just asking for what they say our monies are this year.
Got it.
So in the budget, we didn't already put this money towards this, or we just? Yeah, so.
It's budgeted.
Well, we took.
So now, this is an amendment to the budget, so what is?
It's, what do you mean it's an amendment?
It's not an amendment to the budget, so what are we doing here? We're just saying that we
We're
can.
just asking for them to give us the money.
Oh, okay, then. I was like, don't we already have the money and we budgeted it?
Yeah, but we have to
Okay.
ask for it and show that it was put out to roads or used on roads.
So you send the bill back or whatever.
Yeah, in your thing, you should see two
Oh, the
appendix
bills.
A's and
Yeah.
an appendix B, where the money, where the monies were spent on roads.
So you just send them all the paperwork and they send back.
The money.
Wow.
And do we keep applying for this or is it just guaranteed?
It comes automatically. They send, in March, they'll send what, now in March, they'll send like what our 2023 amount is. And that way, when we're doing budget, you put it in the budget, but then you have to put in for it by November 1st for allocation.
Remember, isn't this portion where there was less than last year?
This year is more.
Okay, no, that was
Next year-
that was the gas tax.
Yeah, gas tax went down.
That's right, sorry, wrong one.
Now, next year, the Barca fund goes down. I've already seen what's anticipated for 2023. And it's gonna drop probably $5,000.
Okay. Any public comment, questions? Second call for public comment. Last call for public comment. Seeing no public comment, any other commission comment, questions? All right, calling the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any unscheduled matters that anybody needs for me to put on the agenda for the November 10th meeting?
November 10th will be long. So are we gonna try to schedule a work session with the hospital after our meeting or something? Because November 10th is not gonna be the time.
I know.
We scheduled this purposely for them tonight.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Because November 10th, we have
There's,
pre-treatment. We'll have the public hearing with the first reading of pre-treatment, first of camping regulation, and first reading of
something else.
no parking restrictions in the North 40.
Maybe start getting the rates raised at that time. Let's get started on that right now.
The water stuff? So do we have to do first reading or what do we do? Or do we have to do public notice way before?
Oh, that's a way before thing, and we're not.
But we need to start public notice, and at some point, we can't keep just pushing this. Like, at some point, we have to start this. I'm with Eric. And if it's public notice and we do,
And they're very specific in the public notice. This is not even close to the ordinance. So that's why I'm saying
still have to
November
start at
10th.
some point.
November 10th, there's no way for the staff to make that deadline. Unless somebody would like to write the ordinance and the rate and go through all that research, because it is not a
Isn't
small
it
one.
set by resolution?
No.
Why isn't the water price set by resolution? Because it constantly changes.
No. Montana code has very, very strict regulations on how you change water rates.
It just says it goes up by percentage every year, right?
That was set way back when. But if we are going to change that, look into Montana code water rates, because it is not a small task and it is not a simple resolution. That is X amount of hearings, X amount of days apart, and you have to, I would say, when we do it, we have to have Great West here, and they're, as part of the water per, they were responsible for public information meetings, and those rates are going to be part of that discussion. It's not a small one. Like we can't throw it
at some point.
It does, but you can't throw it in
No.
2 weeks before. I'm
Even
saying
if we
that
just
you
start
cannot
public
start the first
notices.
public hearing on November 10th. There's no way to make that happen.
Okay, so for December or January, we have
But
to start
what-
working on that ship cord stuff for December or January.
Yes.
So part of that process, and we went over this, I don't know, maybe it might have been 3 or 4 months ago. So part of the process, in order to change the water rates, it has to be based on an actual engineering report, which is why it was postponed and why you're still waiting for that report. And that's, in addition to all the public meeting requirements, there's the report that has to justify all the expenses and costs.
The costs are so much different.
Get a good start on.
I just need to know what the target rate is, and then I have to go from there. But I need the actual thing and then a plan. But I don't have, because the public noticing, we would have had to have it in by Friday, and I can't have it in. There's no way I can put that together in 2 days for November 10th. I know the requirements for water rates are different, and that's all I know. So I have to do some Montana code.
Well, and rural water.
Should help do
Should
it
be
all. I mean, there's
able to
people that do all
help
this. Don't
as well.
just take it on yourself.
Yeah.
I can make some calls.
If call Bobby and see where we're at.
Or ask Great West how we
Rural
started,
water came in
what
and
they
helped
want
us
to.
last time.
And let's see. So that's hot on my list. Yes, I've not forgotten. And those all have to be done. We just have to prove by the end of projects for some of the funding, specific ones. And specifically what we can apply for until we missed it in 2021. 2023, we would have had to have stuff in before now.
It just looks good for DEQ stuff too. If we start doing this, because
And then the next one is 2025, when the big ones that we're applicable for. But you have to have it in the year before, because it goes up to Helena for distribution when it's in. And they meet March, we're off cycle, is what I'm saying. For the big ones. All right.
Mayor,
Yes.
so you could have the commissioners look at 69-7-111. That is the Montana code that regulates how a municipality may change their rates.
Say that one more time, please.
So it's Montana Code Annotated 69-7-111.
Okay. Yep. All right. So we'll start looking at that and then contact rural water. We'll start getting a plan for it together. All right. So pre-treat, camping, streets. I don't think we have any concrete resolutions or anything for November scheduled.
I don't believe so.
In that November discussion will probably be an initial, if we would like to consider selling the property with the old tank in hopes of buying property for the new tank.
I think that's a must. What about zoning rates? Did those ever get adjusted and changed, or was that?
Yes.
They got done, right?
That's all done.
Yeah, you already did that.
That was something else we weren't done with.
I went through our list and double checked. We did business
Street
license,
cuts.
street bonds.
We changed the form at least so he can write his own street bonds.
They have to get an encroachment permit now?
Yep.
Okay, so we did change
They
it.
put all that on the encroachment permits.
Okay.
So yes, that's checked off the list too. We really have started and finished everything, and with the public hearings for November 10th and then again in December, everything we started, we will have finished by the end of the year. Yay. Woohoo.
Can you say that one more time? Pre-treat, parking on Otis, and what else is on?
Camping.
Camping.
ordinance.
Camping regulations. Will be that.
Just a second reading, and nothing's changed.
We just did resolution, so it will be first reading of all those for public hearing. Ginger's got the notices ready. They're formatted, ready together. All that's done.
Jim? James?
James,
Yes.
Ginger has a question for you.
I sent you an email with the camping ordinance today for your final review. Could you do that as soon as possible and let me know? I just finished the format and put it in for the, showing where the public hearings are and the vote, et cetera.
Yeah, so if you didn't change any of the substance of the draft, then it's fine.
Okay, I didn't. So, but you do have the final.
Yeah, just go for it. I mean, that's the draft. The commissioners need to review it. You need to have your public hearings, and I think we discussed this, at length already, the need for it. So,
Right. Yep. I just did the formatting and put it in where you record the votes in the public hearings.
okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Looks good.
That's pretty much it. If you haven't been checking in on your email, definitely do so. Giaforte's housing task force has kind of put a preliminary draft together. And if you haven't seen that, you really, really want to look at that. Because
Yeah.
it takes away small municipalities zoning regulations, and you can have an accessory dwelling on any size lot.
They talked about this in one of our trainings, that it's gonna go through legislation anywhere.
So
anytime.
Kelly Lynch has been very, very much on it, and she's written
Yeah,
articles, and they are all sent to you, as well as her response to the task force. But keep an eye on it. Hot topic. It was hot topic.
we should
Susie
do a
went to-
public comment
Yes.
from the town, because I think it's all email. We should do one.
Did she have it set up that they could go directly in? And
Yes, you can. She made a
like,
link.
You can look at her email and go directly in and put a comment in.
Comments.
And along with that one, they also sent another that is at the federal level as far as reporting. And if you read that, any comment to legislators would be very much appreciated as well, because basically we would have to revamp a huge portion of our system, and it's going to cost us a whole lot of money that we don't have for their new accountability.
Yeah, big dollars.
So those are the two.
It's ridiculous.
And
I sent out an email today also, if any of you have an interest in it, just for a local thing on the gravel
I don't know.
pit.
I know.
This is a big one. I'm just.
I don't know where I stand. I've heard both sides.
It's crazy that this is going through.
I've heard both sides, and it's just weird that there was no public comment. There was no hearings. There was no
Yeah,
nothing. They were
there
just
was
granted
nothing.
permits.
They already have permits.
Yeah, they don't have to tell anybody. They didn't have to do anything.
We're talking about the pit.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've heard both sides and listened to both sides, and I don't know where the hell I stand on it.
Yep. So there's those.
I don't like to breathe silica. I know where I stand. I don't want coal miners' disease.
It seems like there's incomplete information as I was reading.
Well, and why do some things get passed though? Like even when they went to the road closures and different stuff, Ruby Garden got that mine. I got to take away that road, and they never went through public comment or public hearing or public anything. They just got that road through the middle of their mine. It just makes no sense how some things are done in other. Depends on who you are.
Mm-hmm. Or what the historical precedence is. That's the other part. I mean, to be completely honest, you
I
can
don't
hold
understand.
public hearings, and if there is no
And then there's
attendance,
nobody here. They scream 10 years later.
then they're upset at the after
I
fact.
guess what I don't understand is how do you put a money-making project on state land? How many other businesses or big-time money-making businesses are on state land? Because it's not a nonprofit.
it's a mining claim, no? Some sort of.
It's state land. That's all I keep hearing is it's state-owned state land. And they let them put the gravel pit, but now they let
With a
them
lease
put-
agreement.
Yeah, but how do you make money on state land?
Well,
What other businesses are on state land but nonprofits?
gravel pits, obviously, alongside of highways. That's how we build roads at a reasonable rate, I guess.
But I mean, isn't it? I mean, not that it's exactly
Did they
the
make
same,
that
but
back when we were kids and they expanded the road in McAllister? Is that when they made that gravel pit? Or is it after I left?
Hell, I don't know. No, it hasn't been out there that many.
Yeah, so it's after
I
I
didn't
left.
think so.
so there's that. But dig due information, because there's multiple stories all the way around.
Yeah, and just a local tidbit that came out, and they asked, it was addressed to the commissioners, so you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I've
it's
had
all
numerous
due,
people reach out.
it's like due Friday, though. Any
Public
But
comment.
it's the end of the
Yeah.
public comment.
So back to this ADU thing you were just talking about. Our representatives, like not Ray Shaw.
Ken Walsh is our representative now.
And then who's the other? Who else do we talk to?
Ken's ours. I don't know
Okay.
who else is locally.
But check the
There's
link.
Bozeman has some, but Ken is ours, and he goes all the way to Dillon, all the way to Pony and Cardinal. Kelly told some of us, like the one meeting, I don't know if it was Bozeman or the Butte one when we went, but she said go. Just to go when this is on the docket and go and be there, that you could go and speak and you can go and be in session when session. I don't know anything about that. But she was like, some of you people should go.
So the executive session for next year for mayors, city planners, all that, or not city planners, city managers, that convention is always intentionally held over certain sections of legislation so
Yeah.
that we can all go up and make comment.
I definitely think this is a huge lose for zoning in 4 towns.
Mhm.
Because how do you regulate any of this? How do you make them get a building permit? How do you do anything if it's just a free for all and you get to do it?
No, they're taking it away.
Yeah.
Well, and quite honestly,
And you're gonna have buildings on top of buildings.
there's no support of the infrastructure that is required for this.
Mhm.
This is a very small piece of a puzzle that they are trying to solve that they don't have. If you don't have the base to the pyramid, you cannot stack on top of it.
Right.
And that's exactly what this is. We don't have the base for this kind of a pyramid.
Well, and from a public works standpoint, I mean, it's, if all of a sudden you're gonna double the number of lots that we have that are serviceable for water and sewer, like,
You're hoping
tomorrow?
ADU, you're thinking 1 to 2 people tops. So I think in their head, they're thinking it's not gonna be that big or that much, but still you add 1 to 2 people at every house in town, the next thing you know, that's 1,600 more people.
But look farther, and they suggest that lot size, or you can 18 living units per acre. So that makes it that we would all have to have 3 stories allowable. Read the whole thing.
Wow.
And I mean, besides water, fire department, I was going to make sure that the fire chiefs and stuff, that was brought up at convention so that they were all very aware, because we don't have the equipment for all of this. So you're creating a very unsafe, unsanitary situation with these recommendations. That would be my comment.
Do you think this is them just trying to fix the housing crisis, or do you think
Mhm.
it's a money thing?
Oh, it's a quick patch. And
With a
then,
huge hole.
Huge part.
But it sounds like it's desk jockeys that are
not a lot of thought into it.
not, well,
ultimately.
they haven't been out in the field and, or talked to anybody that knows the ramifications or could tell them the ramifications.
Built this stuff, worked in public works, fought fires, did any of the
Yeah,
repercussions,
you know, they're
yeah.
not speaking to those people, is what it sounds like.
and what you always have to look at exactly what was asked for. So start with what was tasked with the task force. What did Giaforte actually ask for?
Housing.
So look at the whole thing. Kelly lays it out really well. So thank heaven somebody's far more ambitious than I am. So thank you, Kelly. Even if you never hear that. Kelly, thank you for being on top of it. Anything else? I think we'll have all the fun that we can possibly have. I'll be here next Monday. If you have any questions, I'll have the final agenda ready next Monday. So you should have your packets Monday for the 10th. Or actually Thursday. But.
Get a time and come get your pads.
And
I got a reminder.
you all have sections of your book that need updated as well.
That's what, bring your books.
All the new stuff we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's always in here.
Your books in there? Holy cow, Christie.
It's my car.
So yes, you have Chromebooks to get, and if you schedule time with John to make sure that you
You can't
have
load up on
that.
your phone anymore like I used to. And John said I wasn't supposed to be on my phone during meetings, so.
So you have your Chromebook. That's all I have.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Hey, I have a question real quick for you.
Yes.
Who's going to run point on the annexation? Who should I communicate with primarily?
You mean As far as organizing it,
Yes.
that will be me.
Who said
So
me? I'm sorry.
that's Nikki,
The mayor.
Nikki.
the
Okay.
mayor.
Okay. Thanks, Nikki.
I'm in charge of setting agendas in work sessions, so that would be me.
Okay. We will be in touch. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
I wanted to get with you. Our recording on your phone.
Oh.
Oh, there's so many rules. What the hell else are we supposed to talk about?
Total transparency right here.
Yeah. Can I ask a question about it right now?
It's not, because you have a forum and you're listed. But if there's a question that you need, you can always, if there's concerns or things that aren't clear to you, send me the email and then, I contact James or Forrest.
I mean, it's not even so much that, I just like, what can they do for us? Like, they're not paying taxes. And do they pay a water bill? They do? But that's, I mean, I'm sure it has to be, but not as much. Do we have forest?
I just know there's a lot of expense and one here that.
The resolution is very, very clear.
And even during these and with our other stuff.
So I think that is definitely some of the, oh wow. And I also feel like maybe some of the verbiage in the resolution.
Another one? I ate all
And a lot of it, and this is me just assuming, but a lot of it says either the hospital or voluntary state responsibility. And I'm pretty sure it's voluntary as well.
And they're giving them the land?
Yeah, it was given to the Aqua Center first.
That's what I was wondering.
But then nothing ever happened with the Aqua
You
Center,
were
so
right.
technically it's splitting land.
This is
So
still,
where did that money come from?
this is entirely too much of a discussion that you need to.
Sorry.
I love you all, but you cannot.
How else are you supposed to do this? Like, that's in the middle of it. Yeah.
But yes. Everybody wants to know the same thing, so you ask the questions and not what. And we answer it. I'm in the middle of a discussion.
Well, that's why I wanted to originally have a work session in the first place, so that maybe we could have the engineers and the lawyers and everybody here, so we could all ask questions and file out.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Back to work? Sorry.
Oh, you did it?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Well, for who?
Mom had her hip put in today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
She's not fine.
Yeah, I got an extra lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, you have that thing?
What was it?
They went to the ICS. That was awesome. Jen's awesome. They're my homies.
The whole operation, you know, pretty involved.
Yeah.
I think more.
Did they give you a pick for it? Because usually you do ICS 1, 2, 3, and 10. I don't like that.
I was not kidding. I just couldn't say things.
Way crazy. And then my mom used to say crazy.
Really working for
Yeah,
him.
like train. Oh my God, John come in and put it back, put it even. No reason.
I think they're in the future. That's a good question. I
I'm sure been at work.